Are we really going vertical? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Hey folks, Tristan back with another video, and in this video I want to just talk about how I used to be a bass head and kind of my evolution from a bass head to more of an audiophile. It started in high school basically when I got my first car. The trend back then, and even more so than now, way more so than now, was for cars that would go boom, boom, boom. I was very into hip hop and stuff like that, and so it made sense. And so when I got my first car, which was a 1980 Honda Civic used that I got from my aunt, and I'll actually post a video up here because I actually did a video. I actually have some old archive video of that car that I actually have in my channel. But anyway, I had two 12-inch woofers in the back, in the trunk, and I sacrificed my trunk for it. I didn't even care that I had no trunk space. And it was in a wood box, you know, wood enclosure, with two 12-inch woofers. And then I don't remember what kind of speakers I had. But anyway, I would just go boom, boom, boom all the time. I was one of those super annoying drivers. And that might be one of the reasons why the car ended up getting stolen in front of my mom's house at one point. And they completely took all that. They took the stereo and all that kind of stuff. I did end up getting the car back, but it was never the same again because they kind of thrashed it and stuff. But in retrospect, it kind of makes sense actually now that I think about it, because if you're going boom, 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 and you're playing your stereo really loud and people can hear you 3 blocks away, it's like you're advertising your stereo system. So then you go park somewhere or something, and obviously you're a target if somebody heard you driving up. So anyway, up until actually fairly recently, maybe up until maybe the last 15 years, just within the last 15 years, I would always like my bass really high in anything that I listened to, and I would always boost the bass in my headphones or in my, you know, anytime I would listen to music, I would boost the bass up pretty high and crank it up. And even to this day, I still like a little bit of bass boost. For instance, when I listen to my audiophile CD4Zs, even though those have really good bass, I do tend to EQ it certain frequencies to boost the bass up just by like 1 dB, nothing crazy. But I boost up, I think 63 hertz, and I boost up 25 hertz a little bit, 63 hertz, and sometimes even like 100 hertz, a little bit over 100 hertz. Now, it's not like the old days where I used to boost the bass up like crazy, you know, like 5 dBs or something like that, or even more, 10 dBs. I just put a little bit, like 1 dB of bass boost in there, which provides just a little bit more of a thump, you know. But within the last 15 years, you know, I sort of realized that if you have the bass up too high in your music, it ends up sounding more like funk music all the time, even when you're not listening to funk music, and that's not how real music is supposed to sound all the time, you know. Also, if you have the bass up too high, it starts interfering with some of the mids, some of the lower mids, in terms of bleeding into some of the lower mids, and sometimes that can distort, you know, some of the lower mids, so you're not getting as clear of an experience with your music that way. So yeah, even now today, being more of an audiophile and liking a more realistic and referenced sound quality, I would have to say that I still do like I still do lean a little bit more towards the bass. Bassy, you know, I do like a little bit of bass boost, and I do for sure lean towards a more euphonic sound signature rather than a more referenced sound signature in terms of just what I like. The other thing, and a lot of people who have been following my channel for a while know about me, is that I'm kind of sensitive to highs. You know, I don't really like harsh highs, so that plays into it as well. I'm not really a person that is a big fan of real harsh treble. When you listen to actual live music at a concert or a club or something like that, it doesn't have that much treble actually. So to me, actually, a more referenced sound is something that's not as trebly. But anyway, that's for another video. In this video, we're talking about bass. The other thing about the bass is home theater. I got into home theater also quite heavily when I was in college, and of course with home theater you got to have the subwoofer, and you want to. Jurassic Park is the first Jurassic Park movie. Is one of the first movies where you could just hear that, you could just feel that bass rumble like crazy, and it was really made for subs. The problem with subs in a home is it can bother the neighbors if you're not like in a house. If you're in a condo or an apartment or something like that, it can totally bother the neighbors. So that's pretty bad too, in a way. And when I did that, I wasn't really being a good neighbor. And there are countless times, not recently, but there are countless times in my younger years where neighbors had to come over and say, hey, what's going on? Why is your bass so high? I can totally feel it vibrating the whole building and stuff like that when I was in apartments and stuff. So I still do have a subwoofer in my home theater system now, but I'm in a condo and I try to tone it down, and I don't really try to like rock the whole place, you know, like I'm just more courteous now as I get older. So but yeah, I still do like my bass for sure. I just don't like it as at like those levels that I used to. And the thing is, when you have your system adjusted well, like your headphones or whatever, when you play hip hop or something that has naturally accentuated bass, you're going to hear that bass, you're going to feel that bass just because it's part of the song without you even having to turn the bass up that much. So again, I do turn it up a little bit by a few dBs, you know, in the bass regions. I tend to listen to my headphones that way, but it's nothing like before in the old days where I just wanted boom, 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 boom constantly. You know, like back when I was a bass head. So let's see, any questions, comments, or feedback? I'd love to hear from you, and let me know what you think about the vertical video as well. I think we're getting more used to vertical videos now because Facebook, Instagram Live and like Snapchat and stuff like that. And I think YouTube now, when you're watching it on a computer, will expand the vertical to make it actually bigger. So that's kind of cool too. Just thought I'd do it as a little bit of a change. I kind of like it actually. Anyway, confessions of a bass head, I guess. See you in my next video.